Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited, California judge shoots down premature GAMI G100UL motion. FAA wants Starship 9 investigation. Prison time for man convicted in laser strike. Welcome to Airborne-Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. California judge shoots down premature GAMI G100UL motion. A California Superior Court judge recently ruled that GAMI's unleaded avgas does not meet the legal definition of commercially available, meaning FBOs and distributors in the state are not required to stock or sell it, particularly not in place of 100LL. The decision follows a motion by the Center for Environmental Health seeking to enforce a 2014 consent judgment requiring fuel sellers to offer a lower lead alternative when one becomes widely available. Judge S. Raj Chatterjee's ruling points out that although G100UL has FAA approval via an STC and is available at 2 California airports, that alone isn't enough. For the fuel to be considered commercially available, it must be broadly accepted across the GA industry. In his decision, Chatterjee said CEH had not shown that G100UL is approved for aviation use in a general sense, or that it's truly available to all potential buyers. Though he did not deny the health risks associated with airborne lead, he argued that CEH's request was premature. The absence of an ASTM specification for G100UL is also a key factor in limiting industry acceptance and distribution. GAMI had been prepared for the decision based on the judge's earlier comments, but expressed frustration over how the process came to an end. After the break, CAF Air Base Arizona getting AV-8B Harrier for collection.
Looking for a new generation of proven and efficient aviation power plants that boast modern engineering, electronic ignition, and both direct and gear drive systems? With 100 horsepower to 240 horsepower, the Skyline and Redline engines offer uncommon value in an overpriced industry. Whether you are looking for fixed wing or rotor, MW Fly Americas has been established to service the American market with dedication and expertise. MWFlyAmericas.com.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. CAF Air Base Arizona getting AV-8B Harrier for collection. The commemorative Air Force Air Base Arizona will soon be receiving a new addition to its aircraft collection, an iconic AV-8B Harrier jump jet, scheduled to arrive June 10th if logistics and weather cooperate. The Harrier, well known as the first VTOL combat aircraft, is to be displayed on long-term loan from the Marine Corps, who operated the aircraft since its introduction in 1981. It's the aircraft that's often described as the aircraft that brought the term VTOL into the common parlance. FAA gives Boeing more breathing room. The FAA recently agreed to renew Boeing's self-oversight program, allowing the plane maker to certify most of its own inspections, repairs, and factory work for at least another 3 years. The setup has garnered considerable criticism due to several high-profile incidents. Boeing oversight runs under the FAA's Organization Designation Authorization, a program established in 2005 to reduce the regulator's workload by letting outside companies handle a number of tasks. It sets a nationwide standard for manufacturer oversight on anything from new aircraft designs to repair approvals. Army National Guard rescues boaters stranded in lower Yukon Delta. Alaska Army National Guard aviators operating out of Bethel, Alaska, along with local emergency personnel, located and rescued 4 boaters stranded by sea ice near the town of Kotlik in the lower Yukon Delta, who were able to get their position to rescuers who quickly found them. A UH-60L Blackhawk helicopter of Company A, 168th General Support Aviation Battalion, was dispatched from Bethel after receiving a request for assistance from the Alaska State Troopers, routed through the Alaska Rescue Coordination Center at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson near Anchorage. First Cessna Citation Longitude delivered in Central America. Textron Aviation announced the first delivery of its Cessna Citation Longitude super midsize bizjet to the Central America region to a longtime customer who intends to use it for business as well as personal use. The Longitude is designed for seating up to 12 passengers, including an optional crew jump seat with standard double club configuration and a stand-up space of 6 feet in the flat floor cabin. The range of the Longitude is 3,500 nautical miles, and its payload with full fuel is 1,600 pounds. That's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. FAA wants Starship 9 investigation. The FAA has required SpaceX to conduct an investigation of the Starship Flight 9 mission, which lasted significantly longer than the 2 previous flights, but still resulted in the loss of the ship upper stage vehicle after a propellant leak led to a loss of control and a controlled termination of the mission. The FAA's move is not surprising, given the developmental test nature of the Starship program thus far. SpaceX will determine what happened during the mission, which also led to the loss of the Super Heavy booster, which was the first time a Super Heavy has been reflown. The FAA said the investigation is concerned only with the loss of the ship vehicle and not the booster. The FAA said in a statement, quote, "The mishap investigation is focused only on the loss of the Starship vehicle, which did not complete its launch or reentry as planned," end quote. The agency explained, quote, "The FAA determined that the loss of the Super Heavy booster is covered by one of the approved test-induced damage exceptions requested by SpaceX for certain flight events and system components. The FAA evaluated each exception prior to launch approval and verified they met public safety requirements," end quote. After these messages, prison time for man convicted in laser strike.
The legendary BD-4C program is building an exciting future for those who want a rugged 4-seat family flyer with a proven history. The SureWings program produces a complete kit and builder assist program that gives you everything you need to be flying a BD-4CS in record time. For conventional kit builders, BD Aviation has parts, partial kits, and full kits for the 190-mile-per-hour BD-4C that has logged thousands of hours. Visit SureWings.com and BDAviation.com for more details.
Welcome back. Prison time for man convicted in laser strike. Jordan Dwayne Jackson, age 36, of Houston, Texas, was sentenced to 15 months in prison for pointing a laser at a Houston Police Department helicopter in 2021. U.S. District Judge Lee Rosenthal ordered that Jackson spend at least half that time in federal prison, and the other half can be served concurrently with his 18-year sentence for aggravated sexual assault, for which he was convicted in July 2024. Jackson initially faced 2 charges of aiming a laser at aircraft on November 11, 2021. The first incident involved the police helicopter, and the second was for pointing the laser at a Southwest Airlines flight near Houston Hobby Airport. In a plea agreement entered in February 2025, Jackson pleaded guilty to the police helicopter laser strike while the government dropped the charge involving the Southwest flight. Hobby Airport officials reported that 4 aircraft had been struck by a green laser the night of November 11, 2021, as noted in court documents. When a police helicopter was dispatched to attempt to locate the laser, it too was subsequently struck by the laser as it flew near the Texas Southern University campus. Jackson was identified and arrested, accused of carrying 2 green lasers. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.